This video is about Zeus strikes Titan until armor holds. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. Zeus strikes Titan until armor holds. In the dawn-lit realm of Etheria, where gilded clouds kiss the mountain's peaks, the gods reign supreme. However, behind the radiant façades a tempest brewed. Zeus, king of Olympus, sensed the stirrings of an ancient foe. The Titans, bound by fate and rage, conspired against him. Once the Titans ruled the cosmos, wielding power unfathomable. Yet, in the great war of the Titans, they were cast into the abyss by the might of Zeus and his Olympian brethren. But the wrath simmered, festering in the depths of Tartarus, where Gaia, the primordial earth, murmured promises of vengeance. On an ominous eve, a rift tore through the heavens, and from it emerged Cronus, the Titan of Time. His form shimmered like molten iron, and his voice rolled like thunder across the skies. The time has come for the Titans to reclaim their throne. His monstrous visage rallied the Titans hidden in shadow. Oceanus, the Titan of the ocean, slithered forth, waves crashing at his feet, while Hyperion, the Titan of light, spread his wings, casting blinding rays that darkened the sun. Atlas, burdened with the weight of the sky, emerged last, his eyes aflame with rebellion. Let us rise from the depths. Cronus bellowed, and the Titans roared, their voices merging into a cacophony of defiance. On Olympus, the air trembled under the weight of the impending storm. Zeus summoned the council of the gods, a gathering of celestial beings radiating light and power. Athena, wise and fierce, stood by his side, her armor glinting with the wisdom of centuries. "We must act swiftly, Father, they will come for us." Before Zeus could respond, Poseidon, god of the sea, slammed his trident against the marble dais, sending ripples through the gathered assembly. The seas churn with their fury. I can feel their approach. Let us prepare for war. Hera, queen of the gods, her presence both regal and fierce, interjected. War is not merely fought with strength, but with strategy. We cannot underestimate their might. We must unite our powers. But Ares, the god of war, grinned, a glint of madness in his eyes. Let them come. I crave the taste of battle. Blood must flow. Zeus raised a hand, silencing the murmurs of excitement and fear alike. We will not yield to their chaos. Let the Titans come, but they will find Olympus fortified against their hate. We shall strike first. With spirits ignited and resolve deepening, Zeus summoned the lightning from the heavens, forging divine weapons that shimmered with ethereal light. He looked upon his brothers and sisters, their arms raised high, ready to defend their realm. Brothers and sisters, we are the light against the dark, we are the storm that shall engulf the Titans. Let the battle come, but know this, our strength lies not only in our might but in our unity. As he spoke, high above the mortal world, the sky darkened, clouds swirling ominously. The Titans, relentless and wrathful, breached the gates of Olympus, their forms monstrous and vile. The earth trembled under their advance, and the stars blinked in fear. With a deafening roar, Cronus led the charge, his iron fist smashing into the very foundations of Olympus. The mountain quaked, and the vibrant gardens burst into flames. Olympus had never seen such ferocity. As the Titans poured forth, Zeus rallied his forces. He summoned the winds, and they howled in response, creating a tempest that swirled around him. Geostations, he commanded. We shall not let them claim our home. Athena, adorned in her gleaming armor, led the defense. Archers, ready your bows, aim for the heart. Her followers, fierce and determined, readied their arrows, glimmering like stars caught in the battle's fury. Poseidon summoned the ocean's depths, calling forth colossal waves that crashed against the Titans, sweeping them back momentarily. Let them taste the fury of the sea, he roared, as water surged around him, forming monstrous serpents that lashed out at their ancient foes. But the Titans were relentless, fueled by the bitterness of betrayal and time. Hyperion unleashed blinding rays of light, countering Poseidon's waves, and the clash created a cataclysmic explosion that rattled Olympus. Ares charged headlong into battle, his sword glinting with bloodlust. He faced Atlas, the Titan who bore the world upon his shoulders. Their clash echoed like thunder, metal against flesh. Is this the best Olympus can offer? Atlas taunted, pushing Ares back with the strength of ages. Do not underestimate the gods, Ares shouted, launching himself forward. The weapons clanged violently, sending shockwaves through the air as they exchanged blow after blow. Meanwhile, Zeus soared through the chaotic skies, wielding bolts of lightning that illuminated the battlefield. He sought out Cronus, the Titan who dared challenge his reign. Their eyes met, and time seemed to freeze. Your time is over, Cronus. Zeus boomed, unleashing a bolt of pure energy that crackled through the air. You will not taint these lands again." But Cronus, with a swiftness that belied his size, caught the lightning in his palm, twisting it until it fizzled out. "You are but a child, Zeus. I have weathered storms greater than you." Zeus, undeterred, summoned the skies once more, drawing the tempest closer, the winds obeying his command. "Then let the storm rage, let the heavens and earth collide." As they clashed, the sky above them ignited with divine fury. Thunder roared, and lightning lit the night as the gods fought to protect their sacred home. The Titans surged forward, but for every Titan that fell, more took their place. Amidst the chaos, Athena saw a flicker of hope. "We must fight together, not as individuals, but as one." She called out, and the Olympians began to form a circle, their energy coalescing into a single, unbreakable force. The ground shook as the Titans, filled with fury, charged toward the gods. But united, the Olympians unleashed their power, sending waves of energy pulsing outward. The Titans wavered, but did not fall. "Olympians, hear my call together. We are stronger than their might." Zeus shouted, rallying his kin. "For honor, for Olympus, we will not falter." As the battle raged, heroes fell, and the cries of the wounded filled the air. The warmth of blood mingled with the rain, and as night descended, darkness clothed the battlefield. Yet in that darkness, a flicker of hope burned. In the heart of the chaos, a bond forged in the fires of war began to weave itself among the gods and their warriors. They drew strength from each other as bravery, igniting a flame that refused to be extinguished. But shadows danced in the minds of the gods, whispering of betrayals yet unseen and destinies yet unwritten. The Titans would not relent easily, for they were fueled by a hunger for revenge that stretched across the annals of time. The battle was far from over, and as the night deepened, both sides braced for the inevitable clash that would change the fate of Etruria forever. What would become of Olympus? Would they stand united, or would the ancient darkness consume them all? The storm brewed relentlessly, and as the echoes of battle crescendoed, a new chapter awaited, one woven with sacrifice, perseverance, and the heavy price of honor. Thus, the tale unfurled, carrying the weight of both joy and tragedy, as legends were born and heroes reclaimed their destinies, with Zeus poised to strike the Titans once and for all until armor holds. # Zeus strikes Titan until armor holds Part 2. The clash upon Olympus raged like a tempest, echoing through the very fabric of Etruria. The sky, a swelling canvas of darkness and flickering light, bore witness to the cataclysmic battle. Titans and gods intertwined, each blow struck resonating with the weight of centuries, and every clash of steel conjured memories of an age long past. Among the chaos, Ares relentlessly dueled with Atlas. Each strike from the god of war reverberated through the ground, sending tremors that rattled even the bravest of warriors. "You bear the weight of worlds, Titan, but your time is over." Ares shouted, his voice a battle cry amidst the din. Atlas smirked, the weight of the heavens seemingly a mere trifle. "You think a child as fury can topple a mountain? I will crush your spirit beneath my heel." He swung his colossal arms, striking Ares with a force that sent him staggering back, clutching his side. But the god of war, fueled by defiance, roared back, summoning the specters of fallen warriors. "You underestimate the ferocity of Olympus." With renewed vigor, he charged, unleashing a flurry of strikes aimed at Atlas' ribs, each blow fueled by the memories of those who had fallen in battle. Nearby, Poseidon continued his assault on the Titans, summoning titanic waves that crashed against even the strongest of their ranks. "Feel the wrath of the sea, wretched Titan," he bellowed, the water swirling around him like a fierce serpent. He drew upon the depths, roaring forth a deluge that swallowed the advancing Titans whole, their fury momentarily quelled by the sheer force of nature. But Hyperion, ever the radiant force, unleashed beams of scorching light to cut through the waves, igniting the surface into boiling chaos. "Your oceans cannot extinguish the sun, sea god," he cried out, his voice a clarion call of defiance that echoed through the battlefield. Athena, ever the strategist, watched the conflict unfold, her mind racing. "We must hold the line, unite our strengths." She commanded her archers, who loosed a volley of arrows imbued with divine light. Striking true, the arrows found gaps in the Titans' formations, igniting upon impact in bursts of radiant flame. Yet amidst the chaos, shadow lingered. From the depths of battle, a figure cloaked in darkness watched with cold, calculating eyes. Eris, the goddess of strife, gleefully whispered among the beleaguered Titans, sowing seeds of discord. "Look at them squabble, like ants before a flood. Their unity is but an illusion, and chaos will reign." Her words, like poison, crept into the minds of the Titans, igniting their latent anger. In that moment, Cronus seized the opportunity to rally his kin. "Let the foolish gods falter. We are the storm, and they are but shadows." With a wave of his hand, he commanded the Titans to regroup. From the skies, Zeus beheld the unfolding turmoil, his heart heavy with the weight of his brother's struggles. "My kin, stand strong, together. We are invincible." He focused the tempest around him, channeling the fury of the heavens into a single bolt of divine energy. "I will strike the heart of this rebellion." With a roar like thunder, he hurled the bolt toward Cronus, but the Titan raised his hands, forming a barrier of ether and time. The bolt collided violently, sending shockwaves rippling through the air. "You think you can best a master of time? Your power is but a flicker against the ages." Cronus grinned, his confidence swelling. Meanwhile, the battlefield grew increasingly chaotic. The Titans pressed forward, their anger igniting a frenzy that pushed the Olympians back. Ares found himself grappling with Atlas, their bodies locked in a struggle that echoed the very essence of fate, light against darkness, honor against chaos. Suddenly, a deafening explosion rocked the ground, and the skies darkened further. From the depths of Tartarus, a monstrous creature emerged. Typhon, the father of all monsters, twisted and writhed, his 100 heads roaring in unison, each mouth a harbinger of doom. "Olympians, your end is upon you." His voice thundered, drowning out the cries of war. The arrival of Typhon shifted the tide. Zeus turned to his kin, urgency etched upon his brow. "We must confront this beast together. We cannot allow him to join forces with the Titans." He summoned the lightning once more, the energy swirling around him. "To arms, brothers and sisters." Eris, aware of the impending doom of her allies, cackled. "Let the monster consume you. I shall revel in your despair." She darted between the Titans, whispering insidious lies, inciting fear and doubt within their ranks. But Athena, with her keen perception, saw the scattered energy among the Titans. "They are fractured. We must drive a wedge between them." She rallied her fellow gods, channeling their collective strength. "Focus your strikes, divide and conquer." As Typhon unleashed a torrent of wind and debris, the gods maneuvered with precision. Poseidon raised the ocean's depths, creating a barrier of water that shielded the Olympians from the creature's onslaught. Together, he roared, summoning waves that crashed into Typhon, momentarily stunning the beast. Ares, reinvigorated by the sight of his kin standing strong, surged forward, his sword gleaming with divine light. "Now is our chance, strike him down." He lunged, aiming for the creature's throats, but Typhon recoiled, his many heads snapping in fury. "Foolish gods, I am a storm unlike any you have faced." Typhon roared, his eyes igniting with malevolent energy. "You will know despair before I lay waste to your Olympus." With a surge of divine fury, Zeus unleashed a devastating storm, bolts of lightning cascading from the heavens like arrows of wrath. "We are the storm, Typhon, you shall not take Olympus." The sky erupted in blinding light as lightning struck true, illuminating the battlefield in an ethereal glow. Typhon writhed in agony, his monstrous form thrashing in response to the divine fury. But even as he faltered, the Titans rallied behind him, their resolve fortified by Eris' insidious whispers. "Together!" Cronus shouted, rallying the Titans as they forged a path toward the Olympians, their fury unabated. "We will show them the true meaning of fear. For every god that falls, we will rise stronger." But the Olympians, illuminated by the combined strength, began to glow with an unyielding light. "We are forged in unity," Athena cried, her voice cutting through the chaos. "In honor, we stand, we are the guardians of Etheria." With their resolve unwavering, the gods joined their powers, a radiant shield forming around them. The Titans surged forward, but the combined strength of the Olympians met their advance, creating shockwaves that rippled through the very ground they stood upon. The battle escalated, each clash echoing through eternity. Ares and Atlas collided once more, a tempest of fury and strength. Poseidon summoned a tidal wave, crashing against the Titans, while Athena dispatched her arrows with relentless precision. Yet amidst the chaos, a darkness loomed. The whispers of Eris grew louder, seeping into the hearts of the courageous. "Do you truly believe you can stand against fate? Betrayal lurks in every heart, trust is a fleeting shadow." As the Titans pressed harder, doubt began to creep into the minds of a few Olympians. For a brief moment, the unity faltered as fear entered their hearts. "What if we are destined to fall?" one of the archers whispered, his resolve trembling. But Zeus, sensing the shift, soared high above, thunder rumbling in his chest. "You are not alone, we fight for honor, for those who have fallen." In that instant, he revealed the truth of their destiny. "We forge our fate with every choice. We are the architects of our own legend." His words resonated like a clarion call, igniting the flickering flames of hope. The gods, invigorated, rallied together, and the tide began to turn. For Olympus, they roared, striking with renewed vigor. With determination ablaze, they launched a final assault against the Titans, combining their powers in a stunning display of unity. The heavens trembled as the storm intensified, bolts of lightning illuminating the battlefield like celestial fireworks. As Cronus and Zeus clashed again, the very air crackled with anticipation. Titan against God, time against destiny, the fabric of the cosmos seemed to weave itself anew with every powerful strike. "You reign ends here," Zeus declared, channeling the full force of his power into a single, searing bolt of divine energy aimed straight at the heart of Cronus. The air shimmered, and time itself seemed to bend beneath its force. But Cronus, in a last-ditch effort, summoned the very essence of time, wrapping himself in a cocoon of shadows. "You cannot defeat what has existed before existence," he shouted defiantly, preparing to absorb the blow. With the crack of thunder, the fate of Olympus hung in the balance. The battle for it. Zeus strikes Titan until armor holds Part 3. The storm above Olympus raged with unyielding fury as Zeus and Cronus faced each other, their powers colliding in a cataclysm that shook the cosmos. The air crackled with energy, a symphony of thunder and the cries of warriors intermingling in a dance of destruction. Zeus, a tempest of divine wrath, summoned his lightning with a roar that reverberated through the heavens. "You are bound by the chains of time, Cronus. They are your prison, not your power." His voice was a thunderclap, resonating with the force of 1,000 storms. Cronus, encased in shadows, met Zeus' challenge with defiance. "You think you hold dominion over time and fate, boy, that in the fabric of existence I will unravel you." In that moment, he drew upon the darkness, his hands weaving together a tapestry of shadows that coiled and wriggled like serpents, ready to ensnare the unwary. But Zeus was undeterred. He unleashed a torrent of lightning that streaked through the air, illuminating the battlefield in a blinding flash. The bolt struck Cronus directly, igniting the shadows around him in a blaze of light that momentarily punctured the Titan-esque defenses. "Your defiance ends tonight." Zeus thundered, his voice echoing through the storm. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and the Titans, fueled by rage, surged forward, desperate to reclaim their fallen leader. Nearby, the fierce battle continued to unfold. Ares remained locked in combat with Atlas, the Titaness, massive fists crashing down like boulders upon the god of war. Ares, panting and bruised, felt the weight of his ancestors urging him to fight harder. "You will not crush Olympus, Titan," he shouted, his sword gleaming with fierce determination. "For every life you take, 10 shall rise in their place." With a bellow of rage, Atlas swung again, but Ares ducked beneath the massive strike, rolling to his feet. "You are a relic of a time lost. The age of Titans is over." With renewed fervor, Ares lunged, his sword aiming for Atlas's vulnerable side, seeking the chinks in the Titan's impenetrable armor. But his strike fell short as Atlas smirked, shifting his stance. "You are but a child playing heroes. Honor means nothing to a Titan who has felt the weight of the cosmos." With a swift motion, he grabbed Ares and hurled him against the marble columns of Olympus, splintering ancient stone that had stood for eons. Yet, as Atlas turned to press his advantage, the echoes of war reverberating through the air, a cry rang out from Athena. "Archers, aim true!" With her guidance, a volley of arrows took flight, glinting in the chaotic light. The arrows whistled through the air like shooting stars, striking Atlas in the shoulder and distracting him long enough for Ares to recover. With a quick glance, Ares nodded at Athena, their minds syncing with the rhythm of battle. Together, they roared, launching their synchronized assault, the Ares striking with ferocity while Athena directed her arrows like a conductor leading an orchestra of destruction. But the battle was shifting, and the Titans, buoyed by Cronus' ferocity, began to rally. Hyperion soared above, pouring forth burning rays of sunlight that cut through the Olympian defenses, igniting the very air around them. "You cannot snuff out the dawn," he cried, a terrifying smile lighting his face. Poseidon, sensing the encroaching darkness, summoned the ocean-esque power. "I will not let you drown our light." He raised his trident high, calling forth a wave that surged against Hyperion's light, clashing with an explosive force that sent both gods reeling. "Your ocean cannot extinguish the sun," Hyperion yelled, pushing against the tide. But Poseidon, drawing strength from the depths, summoned great sea serpents that writhed and lashed out, ensnaring the Titan in their powerful coils. "Together, brothers and sisters," Zeus' voice rang out once more, cutting through the cacophony of battle. "We must unite our strength." As the gods rallied, the darkness whispered more insidious lies through Eris. "Look at them, drenched in delusion. Each of you harbors doubt. Betrayal is a flickering candle within your hearts." Her voice slithered through the ranks of Titans, igniting fear and uncertainty in equal measure. But Athena, ever perceptive, sensed the mounting tension among her brethren. Silence her, she commanded, her voice inflected with urgency. If we do not trust in each other, we will surely fall. As they fought against the encroaching despair, the gods drew closer, forming an unbreakable circle, their energies merging into one. A radiant shield of divine light surrounded them, pushing back the darkness that threatened to consume their spirit. The Titans, seeing the formation, faltered momentarily, confusion rippling through their ranks. What is this trickery? Cronus growled, his eyes narrowing. Do not let them unite. With a fierce howl, Ares dashed forward into the fray. Olympians, to me, together we can break their will. With every swing of his sword, he drew forth the spirits of those who had fallen, their cries fueling his strength. For honor, for Olympus! The Titans surged forward, their fury rekindled by Cronus' rallying cries. Press on, show them the might of the old world. They charged, a flood of ancient rage and bitterness, but the gods stood resolute, their collective light illuminating even the darkest corners of the battlefield. As the clash resumed, the very ground beneath them trembled. Zeus, now focused solely on Cronus, unleashed a series of blinding bolts, each one carving a path through the shadows. Cronus deflected them, but with each deflection, his strength waned, the shadows surrounding him flickering like dying embers. Your time has come, Cronus, Zeus shouted, his voice resonating like the very heartbeat of the earth. You will not claim me through again. With a final roar, Zeus summoned the tempest, the winds howling around him as he channeled all his power into one monumental strike. The sky split open, a rift of light and energy, and the heavens trembled in anticipation of the impact. Feel the wrath of the gods? Zeus bellowed, hurling the bolt with an intensity that rivaled the very stars. The air shimmered around it, time itself bending as the divine energy surged toward Cronus. In a desperate attempt, Cronus raised his arms, shadows swelling around him like a protective cocoon. But the power of Olympus was relentless, and with a searing explosion, the bolt struck true. The very fabric of reality seemed to hold its breath as Cronus roared, the shadowy shield shattering like glass. Bright light enveloped him, momentarily blinding the battlefield, and as it faded, the Titan staggered back, flesh burning where the bolt had struck. No, no. Cronus gasped, once a figure of might, now reduced to a mere shadow of his former self. I am eternal. Zeus descended, his eyes aflame with divine righteousness. No more, you are but a remnant of a past that the world has forgotten. He stepped closer, his voice low and commanding. Your reign ends here. Yet as Cronus teetered on the brink of defeat, he drew upon the last remnants of his power. You think you can cast me down? I am the beginning, I am the end. With a surge of rage, he unleashed a wave of darkness that lashed out, sending the gods scattering. But in that moment of chaos, Athena rallied her kin once more. We stand as one. Let our spirits merge and light the path through this darkness. Her voice rose above the din, igniting a spark of hope among her comrades. With a cry, the gods united their powers, forming a brilliant sphere of energy that surged toward Cronus. The Titan, caught off guard, found himself enveloped in the light, the shadows recoiling in horror. Together, they shouted, their voices merging into a single, thunderous roar. The power of their unity crashed against Cronus, the blinding light consuming him entirely. In an explosion of divine radiance, the battle reached its crescendo. The echoes of war faded, and for a brief moment, silence reigned over Olympus. The gods stood hand in hand, their eyes set upon the remnants of what once was. As the dust settled, the figure of Cronus lay vanquished, his body dissipating into the ether, returning to the void from whence he came. The Titans, witnessing their leader fall, faltered, confusion and despair rippling through their ranks. Retreat, we cannot fight them. Oceanus bellowed, fear lacing his voice. The remaining Titans, once filled with vengeance, now felt the weight of defeat settle heavily upon their shoulders. With the battle over, Zeus turned to his kin, pride swelling in his chest. We have faced the darkness, and through unity, we have triumphed, honor the fallen, for they have forged our path. His voice became a claw. Hash hash hash, Zeus strikes Titan until armor holds part 4. As the dust of battle settled over Olympus, the echoes of the Titans' defeat reverberated through the skies. The gods stood amidst the remnants of their once proud citadel, a summer silence enveloping them like a shroud. The aftermath bore witness to the price of victory, scorched earth, fallen heroes, and the heavy hearts of those who had fought bravely. Athena surveyed the battlefield, her heart aching for the souls lost to the tempest of war. We have triumphed, but at what cost? She murmured, the weight of sorrow heavy in her voice. We stand victorious, yet the scars of this battle shall mar our legacy forever. Zeus, his lightning still crackling in the air, lowered his gaze to the ground strewn with remnants of both divine and Titan. "Honor the fallen, Athena," he replied, his voice raw with emotion. "They have ignited the spark of our unity. We owe them our strength." Across the battlefield, Ares crouched, cradling the body of one of his fallen soldiers. The warrior had been brave, fierce in battle, and Ares felt the sting of grief pierce his heart. "You fought valiantly. You deserve better than this," he roared, his voice echoing with rage directed toward the heavens. "Your blood will not be forgotten," he promised, clenching his fists as he struggled to contain his sorrow. The god of war, typically a figure of ruthless fury, felt an unfamiliar sensation welling up within him, a profound sadness that threatened to swallow him whole. Poseidon approached Ares, laying a comforting hand upon his shoulder. "We all bear the weight of loss today. Let it become our strength. Let it forge a bond unbreakable, one that will resonate through eternity," he urged. But even in their moment of shared grief, shadows lurked at the edges of Olympus. Eris, the goddess of strife, remained hidden, a malevolent smile curling upon her lips. "Do they truly believe they have triumphed?" she whispered to the lingering remnants of the Titans, whose despair she sought to manipulate. "Unity is but a fleeting illusion. The seeds of doubt have been sown. Watch as they crumble from within." The Titans, though defeated, were not yet extinguished. Oceanus and Hyperion exchanged anxious glances, their minds still buzzing with the remnants of Cronus' power. "We must regroup and plan our retribution," Oceanus said, his voice low and filled with urgency. "This war is far from over." As dawn broke anew, streaks of golden light spilled across the scorched earth, illuminating the battered forms of the gods as they began to rise. A collective determination surged among them. They understood that their battle had not merely been against the Titans, but a struggle against the very essence of chaos itself. With a newfound resolve, Zeus summoned the remaining Olympians, rallying them in the heart of their sacred realm. "Listen well, my kin," he roared, his voice cutting through the air like a blade. "The Titans will rise again, their hunger for vengeance insatiable. We must forge our unity into an unbreakable bond." Athena stepped forward, her voice calm yet powerful. "We must not only prepare our defenses, but also seek allies among those who dwell beyond our realm. The battle against chaos requires not just our strength, but the strength of all who seek order." "I shall journey to the underworld and seek the favor of Hades," Poseidon declared, his voice resolute. "If we can rally souls from the depths, we will bolster our ranks. The dead may yet fight for the living." But Ares, his fury still boiling beneath the surface, interrupted. "And what if Hades refuses? Are we to beg for aid from the Lord of the Underworld?" He shook his head, fists clenched. "I say we strike, we pursue them before they can regroup." "No," Zeus sighed, the weight of leadership pressing upon him. "Patience, my brother. Striking too soon could lead to ruin. We must outwit them, not merely overpower them. We must lure them into our domain." And so it was decided. The gods set about crafting an intricate plan, a web of strategies designed to ensnare the Titans. To summon the winds, and with them, he sent forth messages to distant realms, calling upon allies to unite against the Titans' resurgence. Days turned to weeks as the gods fortified Olympus, crafting defenses that would withstand the might of their ancient foes. They wove golden shields of divine light and summoned celestial beasts to guard the gates of their home. But as they prepared, a shadow loomed over Olympus. Eris, ever the instigator, whispered secrets of betrayal into the hearts of the weary gods. "Do you really believe that unity can conquer chaos? Trust is but a fragile thread," she sneered, her laughter echoing in their minds. One fateful night, as the moon hung low and full, an ominous gathering took place among the gods. The air buzzed with tension, and their unity began to falter, doubt sprouting like weeds among the vibrant garden of Olympus. Ares was the first to succumb to the whispers. "I fear we are not prepared. How can we trust one another when the very essence of chaos seeks to divide us?" he growled, his gaze hardening. Athena stepped forward, her voice trembling with urgency. "This is not the time for weakness, Ares. We must stand united." But as she spoke, Poseidon felt an unsettling doubt seep into his heart. "What if our strength cannot overcome the Titans? What if we are destined to fall?" he whispered, shaky resolve threatening to crumble. And within that moment of vulnerability, Eris seized her opportunity. The echo of her laughter filled their minds, casting doubt like shadows over the gathering. "Trust is but a flickering flame. Watch as they turn on one another," she hissed. Suddenly the skies darkened, and a wave of chaos surged through Olympus, feeding off the tension. The gods began to turn against each other, words like blades cutting deep. "You are weak," Ares spat, eyes blazing. "Your fear will betray us all." "Is it fear, or is it wisdom?" Athena countered, her eyes flashing. "You lead us into darkness with your reckless aggression." Fury erupted among the gods, each voice raised in accusation, drowning out the unity they had forged. And amid the chaos, Eris reveled in the discord, her laughter like thunder echoing through the storm. Yet, as the battle of words escalated, a singular voice cut through the din. Zeus, his presence commanding, rose above the turmoil. Silence, he bellowed, the very air trembling with authority. We are the architects of our fate, this infighting only serves the Titans. His voice reverberated through the hearts of his kin, igniting a flicker of hope amid the chaos. Remember our fallen, they fought and died for our unity. We must not betray their sacrifices for the taunts of chaos. Slowly, the air shifted. The gods turned to face one another, doubts giving way to shared grief of their fallen. They saw the truth in Zeus as eyes the pain of leadership, the weight of their choices. And slowly they began to remember. We are stronger together, Athena spoke softly, lifting her chin defiantly. We have forged bonds in the fires of battle. Let us not squander that gift. Ares, humbled by the clarity of her words, lowered his gaze. I was foolish, he admitted, remorse heavy on his voice. I let the shadows creep into my heart. The Titans stepped forward, the weight of his regret evident. We must not allow Eris to manipulate us. We stand as one, or we fall apart, he said, his voice a pledge. With renewed fervor, the gods joined hands, binding their spirits in an unbreakable vow. For Olympus, they shouted in unison, their voices resonating with strength, echoing through the cosmos in a defiant roar against the encroaching darkness. The unity sparked a brilliant light that illuminated the skies above, dissipating the shadows that had threatened to consume them. Together, they turned their eyes towards the horizon, awaiting the Titans' inevitable return, ready to face their ancient foes once more. In the depths of Tartarus, Cronus stirred, aware of the renewed strength of the Olympians. They grow stronger, he murmured, shadows swirling around him as he focused his thoughts. But they are unprepared for what is to come. He summoned the remnants of his Titan kin, rallying them in the dark abyss. The time has come to reclaim our legacy. Together, we shall rise again. The era of Titans is not over. As the gods prepared for the coming storm, hope and fear intertwined in their hearts. The battle for Olympus had merely begun. Would they prevail against the tides of chaos, or would they become mere whispers in the winds of time? Thus, the legend of Olympus continued, a tale woven with threads of honor, unity, and tragic sacrifice, a saga that would echo through the ages as the gods readied themselves for the trials that awaited them, determined to stand united until armor holds.